So, Koji, what's your best baseball memory?
Well, there's two. One was when I was young, and I remember going to see Hideo Nomo at Dodger Stadium, and just remember thinking that it was so awesome to see a Japanese person playing professional baseball. And it just meant a lot. Like, it felt like for the first time that like I couldn't play Major League Baseball, obviously, but it felt like that like I could see somebody that looked like me or had a similar last name. So that was awesome. And then the second thing I was gonna say was I think I can remember the first time my son hit the ball really hard in a game. And I thought, oh my God, he's really good.
Nice, nice.
You see it in practice. I see him hitting the ball in practice. I see him whatever. And then you're just like, oh, he's good, but can you do this when it counts? Can you do this like against pitcher who's trying to strike him out? And then you kind of see that and it's so nerve-wracking because like, as a parent, it's like you want them to succeed. You don't want them to embarrass themselves. And for me, I always think, am I crazy? Is this kid really good or am I just being a parent? And then when he does something like that, I think, oh no, this kid is good. And so like, the first time was the first time I was like, oh my God, this guy is good. And he could
Mm.
actually, I don't know how far he could get, but he could play baseball for real.
That's good because my son also played baseball and he started very young, like 3-year-old. And then, the T-ball, you have the ball on the little stick and then hit the ball. And he was running to the base. And I think he was running straight, but he was not running straight. He was running away, but he was running fast. And I'm like, oh my gosh, this boy is okay. But I knew he wasn't going to be a baseball player.
That's me. We played high school baseball, so that's a big deal.
I mean, he played for a long time, but
Yeah.
I kind of knew he couldn't play right.
Aw.
And he's upstairs. Oops. Welcome to season 2, episode number 3 of the Japanese America podcast, the podcast where we explore the blend of Japanese and American cultures, history, and traditions, as well as all the quirky and wonderful things in between. My name is Michelle, and I'm one of your hosts.
I am Koji, and I am the other host. Michelle, what have you been up to?
Oh, I've been busy with the stationery festival.
That's taking up all your time?
Yeah, pen, paper, palooza.
Hey,
What about you?
baseball. I mean, we were, Saturday we played one game, and then on Sunday we did a skills competition with the Sansei Baseball, which we'll talk about, and then we played 3 games, and it was from 8 a.m. or 7 a.m. to the morning to 8 p.m. at night doing baseball. It was a lot.
Wow.
Yeah.
Baseball.
Baseball. Yeah, exactly.
Well, me, I'm like pen, paper, palooza. This month is the start of the Major League Baseball season. Koji, who's your favorite player?
It has to be obviously Shohei Ohtani. I mean, he's
Not your son?
well, Major League Baseball player.
Oh, yeah. Okay.
So, no, I guess favorite player. Yeah, my son would be my favorite player. But the problem with my son is always that it's so nerve-wracking. I can't enjoy watching him. It's just always so like, oh my God, I hope he does really well. I'm so nervous for him. For Shohei, it's probably our favorite because he's like one of the best baseball players of all time. What about you? Who's your favorite player?
No, I like Barry Zito because he's handsome in person. But I don't know. I saw him like 25 years ago, so I don't know about now. So like I don't really care about like batting average or runs batted in. I just like the looks. And yeah, all the baseball players, ooh, tight white pants.
Although Ichimo's pretty good looking, don't you
Yeah,
think?
he got the striped pants, right? And yeah, he's okay.
He's okay. I think he's pretty hot. If I were into dudes, I would like him.
Mm. Baseball holds a significant place in the Japanese American community, serving as a cornerstone for cultural identity, historical resilience, and community bonding. The sport was introduced to Japanese immigrants in the early 20th century and quickly became a popular pastime, fostering a sense of belonging and camaraderie.
During World War II, even in the face of the concentration camps, baseball provided a sense of normalcy and hope. and with makeshift leagues forming in the camps. Today, baseball remains a symbol of pride and tradition, connecting generations and celebrating the community's enduring spirit and contributions to the broader tapestry of American culture. Through baseball, the Japanese American community honors its heritage, preserves its story, and strengthens collective identity.
This month, we'll be talking to Jason Murai, president of the Japanese American Baseball Organization, Sansei Baseball.
We asked Jason to tell us about himself.
All right. So my name is Jason Murai. I'm a Yonsei, right? Fourth generation Japanese American. I'm a dad. I got two wonderful little kids. Most of the time right now, they don't want to sleep. So it's killing me right now. So I don't get a full night's sleep anymore. But yeah, aside from parenting, I'm a trust and estates lawyer in my actual work. I am an absentee board member for Little Tokyo Senior Nutrition Services. And I guess the reason I'm here is because I'm president of Little League Baseball, Sansei Baseball League.
Were your family in camp?
So my mom's side was in camp. They went to Heart Mountain. My dad's dad went, actually fought in the war. So, right, we had the two factions of Japanese Americans.
They fought in the 442.
Yeah, 442. He was a medic, though. So he was in Germany, and he got captured, and but he said he got treated pretty well over there. Yeah, so I have both sides. So we got the no-nos and yeah.
Next, we asked him about his connection to baseball.
So baseball. I've always loved baseball. Comes from my grandfather, so the one that was in camp. He's my favorite person ever. So yeah, my earliest memories are, well, he bought me a little katana and I used to hit him and he used to let me do that. But aside from that, right, it was baseball. He's a Nikkei Issei, but so he loved baseball, but he spoke Japanese. So my parents didn't speak Japanese. So I couldn't understand. But the way that we would sort of communicate, and he'd come over every Saturday and we'd just play baseball. So he'd pitch to me, he'd throw me grounders, pop flies. So every weekend we just play baseball.
We were curious about Jason's connection to Sansei Baseball. Did he play as a kid?
I did. Yeah. So that's sort of where my baseball sort of continued, right? I played Sansei, I played on the Dodgers and ran LA. When I was a kid, rooted for the Dodgers. Like I watched Kirk Gibson hit the home run. Always been a Dodger fan. After college, I had season tickets to the Dodgers, 10 years. But yeah, Sansei. So I did play. I played Sansei the whole way through and then just didn't think about it for a long time. But my friends from Sansei, basically, he was president, Ken Ito, for 8 years, I think, something like that. And when his son was getting ready to age out, he was looking for someone to take over. And I think at the time I didn't have kids and just said, okay, sure. When the time comes, I have kids, I'll do it. And I didn't think about it. Now I got kids and they're ready to play. So he held me to that. So I'm back. I'm back with Sansei.
We wanted to know more about the Sansei Baseball League.
So Sansei Baseball is a Little League Baseball league, but it's specifically, we've been around for 65 years. It was set up by some Japanese Americans. I think after they came back from the war, right? It's about 10 years. So yeah, they had kids and they needed somewhere or wanted somewhere where their kids can play. And my understanding is maybe it wasn't that easy to get those kids into these other leagues. So they created their own league. Again, that became Sansei Baseball, and it was a thriving organization. We're able to work with the other sort of JA organizations around, right? So the Gardena Buddhist Church, the Baptist Church, the Farmers, Optimists, and VFW, right? So they would all sponsor a team, and it's a way to sort of have the community together and get the kids to play baseball.
Next, we asked him why Sansei Baseball is important to him.
Sansei Baseball is important to me for a lot of reasons. Like right now, it's just a good, like, safe place to take my kids and give me 1 hour of reprieve from having to watch them all day and right, just enjoy some fresh air and to be around other adults and not have to watch them all day. Like I grew up in South Bay, right? So I was always around other Asian kids, but Sansei Baseball was something that was sort of Japanese American, right? So being around other Japanese American kids. So it's sort of that, right? It's being around other people that have sort of the same ethnicity and culture and same sort of background that you don't always get, right? In just regular school or everywhere else. And it's baseball, right? It's a good way to get together and play ball.
And what is the importance of baseball to the community?
Like historically, right? It's always been sort of important. It's a pastime, right? For us, when we first came here, it was something for us to do and try to sort of assimilate into American society. I think that's still the case now with Shohei and all the Japanese baseball players. It's sort of the one sport, right? Aside from golf, maybe, where Japanese American, Asian Americans can try to compete at the highest level, right? We got the one guy in basketball right now, but otherwise, right? There's not a lot of Asian American participation at the highest level, right? Basketball, football, but baseball, we're able to do well. So yeah, it's important for the community in that sense.
We wanted to know what Jason's favorite Sansei baseball moment was.
Like on a dated, I mean, it's a long time ago for me, but it's always been, right? Snacks. You just go. The best part of baseball was the end when we got to get. They used to have Sansei used to have this snack booth, right? And they had these great chili Fritos that I'd love to eat. But and that's still my kid's favorite part too, though. Like we ask him, "Oh, you like baseball?" Yeah. Why? Oh, we get snacks at the end.
We asked Jason about the importance of Shohei and other Asian and Asian American players.
Like Shohei's, it's been great, right? To getting sort of recognition, I suppose, right? For us seeing somebody that's achieving and performing at the highest level, right? Right. Shohei's in the conversation as the best baseball player of all time, top 10 pitcher and a top 10 hitter. No one's done that. Even Babe Ruth didn't do that for all the years that Shohei's done it, right? So like everything, right? Seeing representation of that in the media, in what we see is helpful for us, right? Like, I'm old, but, like in my time, I sound old. In my day, but right, when I was growing up though, like there wasn't any no Asian baseball players, right? In the 80s. It wasn't until Nomo came. And then when Nomo came, that was my guy, right? So I think for kids today, Shohei is our Nomo, right? He's this guy that was like doing stuff that people like that look like me never did. Right? It was always Hershiser, Karros, all these Dwight Gooden, all these guys, right? That don't look like us and something we never thought we could be, right? Because we don't see it on TV. You don't see it around us. But Shohei and Yamamoto and Ichiro, like they all sort of give us hope, right? That we can do this. Someone else is doing it. It's not impossible for us to do.
So one of the interesting things as a kid, when Hideo Nomo was playing baseball, everybody would say, "Oh yeah, Japanese people can pitch, but they can't hit." And then Ichiro came, and then they said, "Oh, he could hit singles, but he can't hit home run." And then now with Shohei, like he could hit home runs, he could pitch, he could do everything, and so that was really, really important. And one of the stories that I shared with Jason and I'll share with you guys is that when me and my son, we went to Iowa, we were in a home run hitting contest. And I remember when he went up there, kept thinking they're all going to call him, Jap or say something, racist to him. That's what I thought, because when I played as a kid and we traveled to Texas or Oklahoma, that's what they called me.
Oh my.
They were that's the words they were calling me. But so I was very cognizant of listening for that kind of thing. But so nobody really said anything like that to him.
How long ago did you play? Like 20 years ago, 25?
Like almost like 40 years ago, right? So 80s, 90s. And then I remember thinking that. And then when my son went up there, no one said anything like that. And, the things they were saying were like, "Oh my God, he's really short," because he was like a foot shorter than the Caucasian kids that were his same age. So it was like drastically different. I joked with them. I said, "Yeah, this kid is rice fed and not corn fed. That's why he's so short." But anyway, he hits that first home run in his first pitch, and everyone started calling him Shohei, and they started cheering him on. And, what that really represented to me was the importance of representation. All these people who've never probably met that many Asian people or any Asian people they see a guy like Shohei being amazing, and it changes their perspective on who can do what. And the moment they saw Shohei and then they see my son being successful, they could imagine that, that he could play baseball. Whereas when I was a kid, it was constantly like, oh, this dude's just short and he can't play baseball. So I think that's why like people like Shohei or people like a lot of these Asian or Asian American baseball players are so important, not just in baseball, but in anything, in science and writing.
And there's a Japanese basketball player. He's like 5'7", and he's doing really well. I'm like, oh my gosh, he's like so short. He's like a meter short.
He's on the Memphis Grizzlies, and he's been playing really, really well with John Morant. Yeah, yeah, and those, like when I was a kid, there was no Asian players playing in these professional sports, right? It was just a dream. For example, Jeremy Lin, he was an NBA basketball player. People didn't believe, like when he'd come to stadiums, people didn't believe that he was a basketball player. And now I hope those kinds of things are much less common, right? Just because you're Asian or just because you're whatever doesn't mean that you can't play the sport.
Finally, we asked Jason about the future of Japanese Americans in baseball and the future of Sansei baseball.
I'm hopeful, like that baseball continues in popularity, right? Like you talked about how if you're JA, right, you either play basketball or taiko or Japanese school. Baseball's not on that list all the time, right? Even though I feel like we talk to everybody, right? Everybody's played Sansei. They say, oh yeah, I played a little bit, but it's not the driving force anymore, right? Like it's all basketball, everybody. But I do hope, like, I think baseball is an easy entry sport though. Like our league, right? We've got 300 kids, but the bulk of it is all T-ball. Like we've got 12 T-ball teams and we've got like 4 teams in majors and minors and Pee-wee. Some of that's because of COVID though, right? We lost a bunch of kids during that 3 years. But I think T-ball is a good entry point for kids because then it's easy to just have a ball there and hit it and then run to the wrong base, which they always do. Right? But and then they all just chase the ball in the middle of the field when it gets hit. But it's a good entry sport. My hope is because it's hard to continue though, right? You got to have 18 kids that are kind of driven to keep going and play a game. Whereas basketball, you could do 2-on-2, 4-on-4, 5-on-5, whatever. But my hope is that it continues on and we do well and people see the success of all the Shoheis in the world and continue and try to strive to be great. I don't know if that's the reality, but I think for Sansei Baseball, at least my goal or what I think is important for our league is just to sort of be this part of Japanese American culture, right? Like people our age, we talk to people, oh yeah, I played Sansei too. I feel like Sansei Baseball is part of that Japanese American experience, right? Like basketball and right, you go to Obon's every summer, I assume, right? And we do all these sort of Japanese American things. I feel like Sansei Baseball is one of them.
Michelle, any reactions to what Jason said?
I came to America when Detroit was not happy with Japanese car company and they were burning cars, Japanese cars. And I was kind of scared to go to school on Pearl Harbor Day, but I think things are changed now that, I don't know, so many things are more global. How do you say that? Like, I don't know about inclusive, but, it's not like Japanese people, American people, white people, Asian people, but I think everybody who has talent get a chance nowadays, not based on the race, but anybody who has talent has good chance of succeeding than before, because before it was filtered. Oh, you shouldn't be here because you are a certain race. But now, as long as you are good at something, it's accepted. And I really like how it is right now.
I disagree a little bit. I mean, definitely better than it was when we were 40 years ago, for sure. I do think that there is still a perception of Asians, Japanese people in particular. Like, I'll give you an example. My son, he used to have a regular boy's haircut. And
what's a regular boy's haircut?
Just just not long, not short, just kind of a regular 10-year-old baseball or 10-year-old boy. Like just a typical haircut, nothing crazy, nothing unusual. And it was interesting because when he'd go on the field, people would automatically assume that he couldn't hit the ball hard.
Oh,
And I would hear like, oh, because he's also small. He's not a huge, I mean, he's not small. But he's not
he
huge
looked
either.
30.
Yeah, he's very strong. So now, like, they would step up on him. They would come in early, like, come in. And so one of the things that him and I talked about was, hey, you need to look like a baseball player. And one of the ways that you look like a baseball player is he grew out his hair. The back of his head has all this hair, like a mullet, right? And the perception of him totally changed because now he looks like a baseball player. Even though he's Asian, he still looks like now, like people don't like people, like when they see him, they think baseball player. And it's so I think there's still the vision of people, who are like if you have a certain look or a certain body or a certain type, I think there's still that visual prejudice, I think. I mean, obviously, we're always going to have some kind of prejudice, right? Because just when you look at people, things you automatically assume or come to conclusions. But I do think that there's still like like if you're Asian, you're not good at sports. And to kind of bring this to Sansei Baseball, I think one of the reasons Sansei Baseball is important is it gives opportunities for Japanese Americans to play in a league that is meant to be for people that look like, which is one of the reasons I wanted my son to play in this league, even though it's not as competitive as, some of his other leagues. He still could have fun and he's with people that look like him, and there are people that he could relate to, have Japanese names and like, for example, we went to the skills competition yesterday and we had a spam musubi after. Like they were passing out spam
Oh, wow.
musubis, and that's that's such
Hawaii.
a
Yeah.
but it's such a Japanese American cultural thing that like we play on teams that are predominantly Mexican American, and so when we leave the field, we're eating tacos. And that's cool because I love the tacos are amazing, but that's not his culture. That's not him. And so being able to have a league that is for him, where people, that has this cultural reference, I think is important for him to learn about himself, to feel comfortable, to have fun in a way that, a quote normally wouldn't. And a little bit of history on the Sansei, one of the reasons why they started this league or these leagues also is that back then, Asians and Japanese people in particular weren't allowed to play with everybody else.
Mm.
Like, same with the basketball leagues, right? The Japanese and American basketball. The reason they started was because there wasn't, like, they weren't allowed to. And so, because they weren't allowed to, they started these leagues. And then, in a lot of them, camps, they were playing in camps. And then they play, and then after camps, there's still a lot of hatred toward Japanese because of the war. And then and then it kind of kept going. It's been going on ever since. So I think it's been a really, it's a really important cultural thing that I think Japanese American, not Japanese, but Japanese American cultural thing for the community. And one of the jokes that I shared with Jason was that I think Japanese American kids, you either do kendo or you do basketball or you do taiko or you go to Japanese school.
No base.
And baseball, I mean, and baseball. Yeah. And so for my son, he can't do J school because he plays baseball on Saturdays. He can't do basketball because he's not very good and he's not tall. And we tried to do taiko, but he has no rhythm, so he can't do that. One of the reasons my wife and I put him in Japanese American baseball, Sansei baseball, was because we felt that he needed to know more about who he was as a person and the importance of being Japanese American. Like he's not Caucasian, he's not white, he's Japanese American. So this is an opportunity for him to learn about his culture, even just by being around other people that look and act like him. So my son is currently playing in the Sansei League. It's his first season, although we have to drive an hour to play, like we said. It's an important cultural experience for him. For more information about the league, please visit www.sanseibaseball.com.
Over the years, Janon has hosted numerous programs, events, and exhibitions related to baseball. On our YouTube channel, you'll find a variety of fun videos to watch. We'll include a link to the playlist in our show notes.
If you could play any sport professionally, which one would you choose and why?
Me?
I'm super curious about this. Yeah, what sport would you play?
Poker? Is that a sport?
Not a sport.
Well, I see. I know people say my face shows everything how I feel. So I like poker players. They are like you can't tell like they got the poker face. I am gonna have that poker face. What about you?
If I could play a sport, I would want to play baseball, obviously, I think, because the problem with football is you just get hurt and you can't walk and you get CTE and the whole thing. It's pretty terrible. Basketball, actually, maybe I'd play basketball, but because basketball season is shorter, like it's quicker, a lot more going on. Yeah, no, I take it back. I want to be basketball.
I play golf, but like now I think about golf, poker, they are like just one person sports. And Koji, you like the team sports. That's nice. I want to play team sports, but like, I don't know.
Do you like individual sports or team sports better?
I like golf, but I hit home runs out of sand trap.
For me, what I love about team sports is I'm a connector on teams. So what that means is that I'm the glue guy. I'm the guy that is, getting in fights for my teammates. I'm the guy that's riling up my teammates and trying to encourage them or getting in their face. And, one of the skills I think I have is kind of the ability to be in interpersonal relationships, because I was never the best player on any of my teams. I was probably on a good team, I'm like the fourth or fifth best player. On a bad team, I'm like the second or third best player. But what I really like was kind of being able to lead the group and be able to be a leader in emotionally, at least. And the problem I had with sports that were just myself is I really like interacting with people. I really like talking to people. So I did like kendo, for example. And kendo is an individual sport, right? Although they're a kendo team, right, for stuff. But mostly it was an individual sport, and it's just not. I don't get as much satisfaction as talking. I guess this is a long way of saying, I'm an extrovert, and so I get energy from interacting. And the problem with sports that are individuals, that I don't get that same kind of high of winning with my teammates, or and this is why I coach now, is because I love the interacting and by the way, my son is nothing like that.
But team sports is nice. So you could, splash Gatorade on top of the coach and stuff. That individual sports, you don't get to do that.
You can splash Gatorade on top of yourself.
On myself.
That's pretty funny. All right. Thank you, Jason. And thank you, Sansei Baseball, for all the work you do and for coming on the podcast. We are deeply grateful for your continued support and enthusiasm for the Japanese America podcast. Your engagement, feedback, and passion inspires us to keep sharing stories and perspectives that bridge cultures and bring people together.
Thank you for being a part of our community and for tuning in to each episode. We are excited to continue this journey with you, exploring the rich and diverse tapestry of Japanese American experiences. Stay tuned for more exciting content and don't hesitate to share your thoughts and ideas.
This podcast is a program of the Japanese American National Museum. The museum's mission is to promote understanding and appreciation of America's ethnic and cultural diversity by sharing the Japanese American experience.
Please rate, review, and subscribe to our podcast. And be sure to join us next month when we tell you the story of Solly Gaynor. Thank you.
All right.
Bye.
Take care.